Yeah.
Okay.
Goats. Hey everyone, Gigi here from Paranormal XL Podcast. I'm here with my daughter, Destiny. Yay. She's nervous, just like I am, as always. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and see how everyone is doing and let you know how much Mama Mary and I appreciate all of your support for the podcast. Even if you haven't listened to the podcast and you're just on the page and the group and following all of our shenanigans. And, well yes, they should listen to it. At very minimum, you guys would laugh, and hopefully in some of them would maybe learn something. That's kind of what we geared it toward. We do have fun with the paranormal stories, whether they be ghost stories that we're talking about or urban legends, but there's a lot of other information in there if you wanted to know more about like scrying, channeling. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. That we've covered a lot of paranormal topics. Speaking of that, we are coming up on our year anniversary, so we're super excited about that. I know, I can't believe it's been a year.
Oh, it's weird.
It went by super fast. But we've enjoyed every minute of it. This year's hasn't been crazy so far. We're getting there though with all the events and whatnot that we have coming up. That's another reason why I wanted to reach out to you guys via video for the ones that don't listen to the podcast. However, you should, because it is funny. Because we're so funny, me and Mary. We are, but we also have. I've had a couple guest co-hosts on there as well. Jody from the crew, Amanda from the crew. And I also do a side segment, which I need to do another series of that called 13 Questions with PXL. I will be setting up some interviews with other crews to do that again. So if you are with a crew and you're interested, I do that because like when we first started out as a podcast, and then we added a crew a few months later when we were asked to do some investigations. And there was still so much and still a lot that I need to learn when it comes to investigating, but knowing and hearing everybody's different ways of doing it. You know, some crews had one person, some had two. I interviewed one that had up to 16, and I actually met my my internet BFF from doing that interview. And she's actually my co-host in my upcoming podcast that will be releasing March 13th, which we'll get into that too. But with that being said, if you are with a paranormal crew, let me know. Email us, say us, not me, at paranormalxl@writeme.com. We'll for sure set something up. I do it usually via Skype. I'm looking into some other ways. I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone and learn other ways, because for the past year it's been just a complete learning experience, and I've held it together, I think, okay so far, but I want to do better and better as time goes on. So with all that, I want to go through what we have in store as far as the podcast goes and where Paranormal XL will be, what we have lined up right now. So June 1st is the Gypsy Festival. I actually just found out it wasn't the place that we just said in the last episode of the podcast. It's at the Allegan County Fairgrounds, which is awesome for Mama Mary and I, because the other location was super far away. This is like an hour, and I used to live there, and there's actually a lot of awesome known haunted locations there. Yeah, there's a lot. So maybe, I do believe that's a 2-day event, so hopefully we'll have some extra time to go out and have some fun there. September 5th is Festival of Oddities, which I'm just as excited about this one as I am our event that we're putting together. The Festival of Oddities, it is just like it says it is. It's odd, which is going to be like super epic. That's at the Eaton County Museum at the courthouse square there. I believe it's mostly outside. The gals that put that on, they also do the podcast, oh my gosh, So Dead podcast, but they are fabulous. But they put all that on, and it's, you know, anything from paranormal to true crime stuff, because that is a true crime podcast with a little bit of paranormal in it. But it's not your normal vendors that will be there. It's just going to be so awesome. It's very unique, that one. So I'm super excited about that. September 12th, we just added this one to our calendar, the Para Unity event. And that is also open to the public, and that's in Miami County, or at Miami County Fairgrounds, and that's in Indiana. I got invited by Scar Encounters, Amanda from there. So hi Amanda, thank you for that. So that will be super exciting to meet some other crews and stuff. And with that, I'm hoping to connect with more crews than what I already have over the past year, ones that I haven't talked to, and get them on the podcast and find out how they do things. And everybody does it different, so it's really neat to talk to the different groups. So if you are in a crew, reach out to other crews. You're going to learn something, and you might be able to teach them something too, which is really awesome. October 9th is Little Traverse Bay Parafest in Traverse Bay. I'm excited about that one too, because that will be, we'll have to stay overnight up there because that's a little bit of a drive, but it's going to be super awesome. Now, October 17th is the Para Holistic Gala. That is our event that we are hosting, and that's going to be in Hastings. We are super excited about this, and 50% of the ticket sales will be going to Autism Alliance of Michigan. I just think that's really great, and I'm actually hoping to be able to give them even more. We do have a lot of things planned, some special appearances maybe from Bigfoot. I'm just saying, Krampus might be there. Lots of giveaways, and we're still looking for a couple more vendors. We still have a couple spots open, so you can email us for more information on that. And even the vendors are entered into a giveaway that we are gonna do, and that will be a $100 gift card. So let's say you pay the price to get your spot there, you're gonna get double back, you know, if you win. And I want to throw in some other things that you guys can win too for being vendors. Now, if you buy a ticket and just want to come say hi, we have speakers. We are gonna also have unique vendors, which I'm super excited about, and a few crews there too, so you can come in and ask questions if you wanted to start a crew and you just don't really know where to start, or if you have any type of paranormal question. There'll be plenty of people there to ask. Bring the kids, you know, that all the ghost hunting shows and whatnot are very popular right now, and they may have questions, and maybe want to see some of the equipment and stuff that we use. I know I will be bringing all of ours so everybody can see. One of the big giveaway that'll be at that event for ticket buyers or purchasers will be a kind of like a starter kit, I guess you could say. We'll have a full spec cam in there. We'll have a millimeter in there, and some other things in this kit that you could win just for coming. The tickets will be $10, and you will be able to get those ahead of time. Also, if you get them ahead of time, you will be entered into another drawing. Like I said, it's going to be like a full day of just drawings and giveaways and fun for the whole family. It will be kid friendly. We got speakers just talking about the paranormal. We got someone coming from Ohio that will speak on haunted objects. Hopefully he will be bringing some as well, so you guys can see, ask questions and stuff like that. I'm still nervous, and I'm like halfway through it. As for the PXL crew, we do have some things lined up as far as investigations go this year, trying to finalize some of the bigger locations. As you guys know, if you are investigators, some of them bigger locations are kind of pricey, but sometimes they're worth it to go to it. I actually prefer to go to the smaller ones just because less people. I don't know. I just feel weird about that. But with all that being said too, so if you haven't listened to the podcast, you should. She's telling you to. It'll be her birthday present. Her birthday's in less than a week, and she's going to be 18. She wants you to listen to the podcast. there's episodes for everybody on the Paranormal XL podcast. Yeah, there's a lot. There very much is. Say, Mom and I go over many different topics. We take turns each week picking the topics, so they do change up. So we try to have fun, but also try to stay informative. And some of them, like I said, it's strictly for fun. Some are very much informative. Our latest episode was on Armageddon. I actually liked how that turned out, because I was talking about prepping, and, well, I used to be a prepper, and that was always fun. Ask her. That episode went in a lot of different directions. You really don't want to miss that one. That was a lot of fun. So we talk about our thoughts on all the episodes, and then we get into what the topic is, whether we get into the actual definition of the topic. And that's the fun thing about paranormal topics, is really the definition. Yeah, it's endless, but the definition is however each one of us wants to perceive it. We're all different. We're all going to take things different. And the Armageddon one, we also talk about some of the predictions that they had, which some of them are pretty ridiculous, and they were pretty funny, and you should probably just listen. Some of our older episodes, we did Doll Island, actually not that long ago. Channeling, which is a good informative one. Children in the Paranormal, which I always love to cover that. Magic, with a G. That one was fun too. That's actually one of our higher downloaded episodes, which I don't know why I thought that was odd, but the myths and truths about Satanism, which some people are like, why would you do an episode on that? And I just, what it really is versus what everybody tells us it is, it's different. Like I said, if you want to know more about that, it's on the podcast. Jack the Ripper, Salem, of course, because, well, we absolutely love Salem. I'm not going to get into that whole spiel. That actually turned into a 3-parter, which hopefully in a few months I will be out there and I will get to see Courtney, and I'm super excited. Anyway, we did one on Bigfoot, clearly, the afterlife, and there's just so many, no matter what kind of topic. Like I said, there are some true crime in there too. We did the Lizzie Borden case. We did the Villisca Axe Murder House, which I'll be getting out there too. Ed and Lorraine Warren. For a year's worth of episodes, there's something for everybody out there. And there's even one where we just told stories. We looked up some of our favorite ghost stories. I think that one's called S'more Stories or something. So you can tell it around the fire, you know, or just put hit play and then let it play. So Paranormal XL podcast, we are hitting our 1 year, and we're still looking for some ideas for that show. I'm kind of leaning toward maybe doing a live. By live, I mean like a Facebook live as we're recording the actual episode, for those of the people that are the listeners that don't follow us on Facebook. But so those of you that do can kind of see what we do. We'll make it fun. I'm not really for sure on the topic if you guys have like an awesome topic, but this will be, I mean, we'll have other anniversaries, but this is the biggest one. I wanted to make it through the year, and we did. And that's all because of you guys, and I truly, truly mean that, and thank you. Send in your emails again, as far as if you guys have any ideas on something. I want to do something unique, something fun, even if it's something scary. It would be fun if you wanted us to do a seance or a witch dance or something crazy. Okay, this is a topic that I'm kind of passionate about, and I have posted on the Facebook page because it is a Facebook page for the podcast, but I do get asked still frequently what a podcast is. So, with that, and no offense to anybody that truly doesn't know what a podcast is, like, that's cool. Well, Grandma didn't know what it was. Oh, Grandma. Okay, so a straight up podcast is like talk radio on demand. And what I mean by that is you can go to any music or podcast app and look it up, you know, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, any of them. And what's that other one? There's another one everybody uses that word. Chromecast. No, I'm totally wrong. Paranormal XL is on all of them. Or you can even go to our webpage, has all of our podcast episodes on it too. That's just paranormalxl.com. I was gonna say, like I said, the only reason I brought this up is because still a lot of people ask me what a podcast is, or they ask me where the video is. And that's kind of where I get a little heated, and I don't mean to, but it is the podcast itself. Mama and I, we put a lot of time into it. So just like anything, if somebody was to come to you and say, I don't know, I can't come up with something, but something that you have passion about, and they get it completely wrong, and not that you would take offense to them asking you, but it kind of hurts a little bit. We put a lot of time into this and getting the information, and even after we're done recording, it's still hours and hours of going through and making sure we got all the background noise out, or just, there's a lot to it. There really, really is. And we do that because, well, we love doing it. I'm not complaining by any means. And we do it because you guys are listening. And those of you that do listen, like I said, I truly, truly appreciate you more than I could ever say. Now, people ask about the video thing. Our video podcast, but that's exactly what they are. Video podcast. 2 words, not one. And people will say, yeah, I got a podcast. You should watch it. Right there, they lose me. I was like, no, you're a video podcast, or a webcast, if you will. And there's many different names, but a podcast is audio. You could look it up in any dictionary, online, whatever. It's going to say it's audio. Yeah. Sorry, I do get passionate about that, but we do put a lot into it. But like I said, we enjoy it. I've learned so much over the past year, met so many amazing people from all over. It's been great, and my poor family, they stick in there for me, but I got a pretty awesome support system, which is great. So with talking about podcasts, we do have a few more that are coming up, and I do believe I had an idea last night when I was talking to Courtney when we had our little business meeting about a new podcast that we're doing. So there might be some bigger news coming up in the near future. But Mama Mary has her new guided meditation podcast. Those are only about 15 to 20 minutes long, but very helpful. Let's say you have a stressful day and you're just like, I don't even know what to do, nothing's helping. Put your headphones in, relax, listen to it. She's got a very, very soothing voice. And that's under Spiritual Voices. Again, you can find that under any music podcast app that you already use, just like Paranormal XL. Josh from the PXL crew just released his podcast, and that's Paranormal Parent. I actually was on an episode of that two weeks ago when I stopped over there. He's like, hey, you want to record? I'm like, yeah, when don't I want to record? And as you see, I have an obsession with microphones. Some of them you can't even see. They're all over the place. Sorry, you guys couldn't eat dinner for 6 months. I needed more microphones. Yeah, he talks about, well, clearly being a paranormal parent, but also just being a parent in general. There's some really good insight there, and just kind of looking at things a different way on that one. So totally give that one a listen to. And that's Paranormal Parent. And I am launching True Crime XL, which is clearly linked with Podcast XL, because everything I do has got to have XL behind it. That one will be released March 13th, which is a Friday. And then all the episodes will be released on a Friday. That will be a weekly release, just like Paranormal XL. So we got some really exciting things going on with that one. We wanted to make it a bit different than other true crime podcasts out there. Now, there's nothing wrong with them. I enjoy listening to true crime podcasts. It's usually what I'm listening to when I'm at work. But we have some awesome interviews set up for that. We also, again, be informative on some of it. So some of the episodes won't completely be on, okay, a serial killer or some type of crime that happened. They will be on different, like, terms in the law type of thing. We'll have some, I'm lining up an interview to talk with a guy that trains cadaver dogs, which is like, wow, I never even thought of something like that. But different things like that you won't find anywhere else. We want to cover stuff like that. So I'm super excited about that. They said, Courtney is my co-host from that. She's from Salem. We actually met from me interviewing her crew on 13 Questions with PXL. And she was super stoked when I asked her to do the true crime one with me. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. We got some pretty sweet things coming with that one, as we do with the Paranormal XL one, too. I say we may have a few more podcasts coming within the next year under the XL name. There's some other things in the works. So that's why you really haven't heard much from Mama and I. We've been busy bees, but like every so often I do want to make a video and reach out to you guys and let you know that we just appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna get all emotional. Just, if it wasn't for you guys, well, we would have gave up a long time ago, and we super duper appreciate it, because now we found something that we love to do, and then we can do it together and separately. We get to go to these awesome events, meet all these awesome people, and it's just great. Also, before I go, I just wanted to I already said that sucks. Anyway, I do have notes in front of me, as always, as you guys know, if you listen to the podcast, because I forget things. Also, check out the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/paranormalxl. Kind of just see what extra you can get out of Mama and I. There's a whole different list. There's different tiers, levels. I think we made it fun. And if you go in there and you look and you're like, well, maybe they should do this, email us. We want to hear like all your ideas, like forevermore. Even if you're having a bad day and you just need somebody to talk to, email us. So you can email us at paranormalxl@writeme.com. Any questions over anything, and any ideas for our 1-year show or any other shows past that, let us know. So with that, I will stop bothering people. Hopefully people are still watching. So, just like on the podcast, don't yuck someone else's yum. Say ever. Say ever.